Next, we're gonna stack on the next third in line. So, and that's always the fifth here. As I explained to you, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 key from the first key. The fifth is always the 8th key. So from this one, this is also a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From here to here is also a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From here to here is also a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one is special. You might hear it. This does not sound as pure as, say, this has a lot of tension. Now this is not a perfect fifth. It looks the same because we've got 3 white keys here in the middle, and you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is a type of fifth, just like this is a perfect fifth. We call this one a flat 5, or, as it is more commonly known, a tritone. Why is it a tritone? Because it has 3 whole tones in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keys, but that means this is the first whole tone, this is the second whole tone, this is the third whole tone, a tritone. In the Middle Ages, they used to call this the intervallus diabolica, the interval of the devil. Because in those days they found that there's so much tension in that interval that it can't be divine. Obviously, we've learned later that that is not the case. This just calls for a solution. And usually it's this solution. You hear that? But we'll get to that later. That's another theory that's not important at this point. Now, if you combine the first third and the second third, which is the fifth from the root of each chord, we get, and it's very simply, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B minor flat 5, and C major again. So I hope you're starting to understand where the naming of these triads comes from. Because in all of the chords, each and every one of the chords in the C major scale, every chord has a perfect fifth, except for one. The B chord has a flat fifth. So in all of the chords, we basically just assume it's got a perfect fifth, and we don't mention it. We basically just say, you know what, the only important thing here is the first third, and that one is a major third, so this must be a C major. In case of D, the first third is a minor third, so this must be a D minor. E minor because of the minor third. F major because of the major third. G major because of the major third. A minor because of the minor third. B minor because of the minor third, but it's called a B minor flat 5 because of the tritone or the flat 5. I hope that makes sense. And then we get back to our major, C. Now we can take it one step further by stacking another third on top of this. As you will see, another third on top of this. Now this interval is called a seventh. The reason it's called seventh is because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes Now, I can already tell you that this is a major 7. I mean, the next one is an octave. So you can't have anything higher than a major 7. So it must be the one that's half a tone lower. But let me first explain to you that this major 7 has 11 half notes, or 5.5 whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We also have a minor 7, which would be, that's a minor 7. And that one has 5 whole tones, or 10 half tones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But in the C major, we're obviously not playing any black keys. So for C major, the next third would be a major 7. So we call this chord a C major 7. Now the major is still pointing to the first third. But I can also tell you that normally a chord that has a major third in the beginning will also have a major 7. And a minor chord with a minor third in the beginning will normally have a minor 7. So this is D minor 7. Because the 7 is always minor when the third is also minor, and the 7 is always major when the third is always major, the norm is that we don't really mention what type of 7 it is, because it's implied by the third. Minor 7, C minor 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7. Now the G is a special one, because the G is the exception to the whole rule of when you have a major third, you would also have a major 7th. G is the exception, or what you could say, the 5th chord of any major scale is an exception. You'll see, while we have a major third here, we actually have a minor 7th here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in our naming of our chord, we need to somehow point out that even though we have a major third, we have a minor 7th. So what was decided way back when, I don't know who decided that, but they decided to just drop the major, and the triad is called G major, but the tetrad is called G7. So the triad is called G major, but the tetrad, the one that has 4 notes, is called G7. If it would be a major 7, a G major 7, you would expect a major 7th, which is this one here. But it's now a G7. We also call that G dominant. And a 5th chord, or a dominant chord, always likes to have a resolution, or to resolve into the root major 7. So if you have this, it will always sound very nice to have. I should use the basic notation. So G7, nicely resolved into the C major 7. So we were at the G dominant, the next chord, A minor 7, no exception there. B minor 7 flat 5. Still this flat 5, that's very important here. If you wanted a normal B minor 7, you could make the fifth one sharp, but this is no longer the C major scale, because in the C major scale we don't have any black keys. So in the C major scale, only the flat 5 is correct. And then we go back to the C major 7. So C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant or G7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and C major 7 again. If you think about it, it's not that much to remember. It's only 7 notes in a scale, and the progression is always the same. Major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5, and major 7. So you can fill that in any other scale if you wanted to. I said earlier, the G major scale, which has all white keys except for the F. The F is an F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. It's getting a bit high for my voice, but you get the point. Remember the progression. It's an F sharp, right? So G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7. See, I showed you earlier. This is the B minor flat 5, but in the scale of G major, we have this F sharp, and then it turns into a normal B minor 7. C major 7, D dominant, sorry, my dog is making noise. Peppa, shush. So D major 7, E minor 7, F sharp minor flat 5. Sorry, F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then last but not least, the octave. It's very pretty. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot to take in. What to take away is, if you want to forget the letters or the notes you're playing, you can substitute them with the number. The number is, a scale of C major always starts with a C. But we don't call this note C, we call it 1. Right? In case of a G major scale, the G becomes the 1. Right? So if you remember this sequence, 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 dominant 7, 6 minor 7, 7 minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished. We also call it half diminished. A fully diminished one will have a minor 7th as well. That's a stack of all minor thirds. This is a minor third, this is a minor third, and this is a minor third. We use this in old-time horror music very often. But 7 half diminished, and then 8 major 7. It's not that difficult if you think about it. Yeah, you can do it in G. 1 major 7. 2 minor 7. 3 minor 7. 4 major 7. 5 7 dominant. 6 minor 7. 7 minor 7 flat 5. 8 major 7. So that's it. Hope you enjoy.